For decades, the World Health Organization has condemned the marketing practices of the baby formula industry. And the reason they've been condemned, and there's a recent study that just came out and published by the World Health Organization, again, looking back at the continued practices. And they're multifactorial, but what you have is, number one, you have an extraordinarily aggressive marketing campaign directed at moms. And you got to realize in this context, moms are dealing with a lot. They've just delivered a premature infant. They're having difficulty lactating, and they're hearing a fair amount of mixed messages about, whether this stuff is actually adequate for their babies or not. And
but
you had
should
mentioned
a doctor
earlier,
know, or a nurse?
and they should know, but that sort of leads to the second prong of this multifactorial problem, is that the industry actively and very aggressively lobbies the physicians. I mean, they pay for hospital wards, they pay for conferences, they donate to the American Academy of Pediatrics at offensive levels, big dollars. It is really and sadly a conspiracy of silence, where I think what you have is moms who are tricked into believing this stuff is adequate. They're tricked into believing that it's actually necessary. There's a concept called catch-up growth that is marketed, so that they're made to believe almost that their milk is not enough, that it's not going to be enough for their little premature infants. And then you have the physicians who are marketed at an equally aggressive level. And then you compound that with a couple other factors. You have the cost of going to an exclusive human milk diet for hospitals. It's very expensive. It's going to increase the cost of feeding, which oftentimes is not paid by Medicaid and other sources. So you follow the money, and that usually gets you to the truth as well. And then you have what I would call institutional laziness. It is the concept that to be able to mix milk quickly and feed makes their jobs a lot easier. And so I think it really comes down to all those things. Now, things are changing, and I think this litigation has had a big part in it. Stephen has had a big part in causing this change, because as litigation often does, and that sort of brings me back to the beginning part of this story, is affecting change is the reason why we're doing this. There's a hospital in Texas that has gone to an exclusive human milk diet, and hospitals are emerging across the country. It's a slow change. They don't really want to admit what they've done. So I don't think they want to do it dramatically and overnight, because to do it dramatically and overnight is sort of an implicit recognition of their complicity. And so what we're starting to see, for example, in the case that Steve and I are handling here in Connecticut, the one I just told you about, we've been able to sort of track changes that this particular hospital is doing. So they're making some changes in their nutritional protocol. They're still feeding fortifier, but they've basically stopped the practice of feeding outright formula. And so these are small incremental changes, but we'll get there.